Today we'll be looking at the laws of indices. I'll be doing this across 3 videos, and in this video we're going to be looking at the 3 fundamental laws of indices. These are sometimes called the law of addition, the law of subtraction, and the law of multiplication, just because of what's going on the right hand side. So these basically say that if you multiply 2 numbers, the same base, raised to 2 different powers, then this is the same as adding the powers to that base. And if instead you replace the multiplication by division, then this corresponds to subtraction in the indice. And finally, if you raise an index to the power of another index, then this is the same as multiplying the 2 numbers together. So I've got a few examples to go through, and the first one is 7a to the power of 4 times 3a to the power of 4 in brackets squared. So we really need to think about the order that we did simplification. So first off, we're going to look at what's inside the brackets. So we can write this as 7a to the power of 4, just leave this as it is for now, multiplied by 3 squared times a to the power of 4 squared. So we've distributed this 2 across the 2 numbers in the bracket. So 3 squared, that's obviously 9, so we can write this as a to the power of 4 times 9, and then for this term we're going to use the law of multiplication. And we have 4 raised to the power of 2, so we can just multiply these numbers together. 4 times 2 is 8, so we are left with a to the power of 8. And now we can bring the numbers to the front, so we have 7 times 9, that's 63. So we have 63 at the front, and then we have a to the power of 4, so we have a to the power of 4 times a to the power of 8. And now we can use the law of addition, so we just add the numbers in the exponents. So 4 plus 8 is 12, and we're left with 63 times a to the power of 12. And that's the simplified expression of this equation. Okay, for a second example, it's a bit harder this time. We'll have 2a to the power of 3 divided by 3a squared times 6a to the power of 5. Now you've got to remember that we need to do division before multiplication, so we can kind of think of this as having brackets in here, and we have to look at what's going on in this bracket first. So we have 2a cubed divided by 3a squared, and we can just look at the numbers first. We have 2 divided by 3, so let's write that, and then we have a cubed divided by a squared. So this is the same as saying 2 divided by 3 times a cubed divided by a squared, in brackets like that. And now we can use the law of subtraction. Wait a sec, I forgot, 6a to the power of 5. So now we can use the law of subtraction. So we just subtract 3 from 2, and we're left with a to the power of 1. So you have a to the power of 1, you can write 1 if you want, times 6a to the power of 5. And as before, we can bring the numbers to the front, multiply them all together. 2 over 3 times 6, well 6 is just 2 times 3, so the 3's cancel out, and we're left with 2 times 2, which is 4. And then we have a to the power of 1 times a to the power of 5. And again, using the law of addition, this gives us 4 times a to the power of 6. So once again, this is the simplified expression of this original expression. Okay, I want to do one final example. This is actually a bit easier, but I just want to show that we can do the same for fractional indices. So if we have x to the power of 3 over 2 times x to the power of 5 over 2, we can use our law of indices just as if it's integers. And so in this case we have multiplication, so this corresponds to addition in the powers. So we have x to the power of 3 over 2 plus 5 over 2. And this simplifies as x to the power of 8 over 2, just by adding the numerators, and 8 over 2, also known as 4, so we're left with x to the power of 4. So there you go.